Life in your 20s can be super stressful. You probably just got a job and you're not sure what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're adjusting to, getting into full-time work. You're looking to start investing. You probably just got out of college and have a bunch of student loan debt and have maybe some credit card debt, and you're living somewhat paycheck to paycheck. And that's all right. A lot of people don't even have a retirement account in their early 20s, and that's normal. Investing this young can seem out of reach or just not realistic for your lifestyle that you're currently living. And I think that's real for a lot of people, and that's totally fine. And just being able to invest a little bit while you're young is important. They say, get a 401k and give your employer match and all that, and your parents are probably bugging you, telling you should be investing, but it just seems so out of reach. What's really important is that you try to put away as much as you possibly can. Don't just get frustrated and stop, or just not do it at all. I'm not a financial advisor, so you definitely shouldn't listen to any advice that I give you. So we'll start with the accounts that I have. So I have a Roth IRA. This is a personal. I manage every investment inside of it. I have a Roth 401k, so this is money that comes out. I can contribute after taxes that comes out of my paycheck through my employer. I have a traditional brokerage account. This is where I tend to do a little riskier investments in like single stocks and things like that. It's more short term. And then I have a high yield savings account, which is any overflow, like any money that I'm not investing will just sit in there. So starting out with my Roth IRA, at the beginning of every year, I max it out completely. So this year the limit was increased. So I put $7,500 in on, I think like January 4th. It was like the first couple days of January. And then I allocate my investments. So I hold 4 main items in my Roth IRA. I did used to buy some other stuff in there, but I don't anymore. I do still hold it, but it's like obsolete. It's less than 3% of my whole portfolio. So the first thing I do is put 40% into VOO. It just tracks the S&P 500. Then I do 10% into VTI. That is an overall stock market fund. Then I do 25% into SCHG. This is Schwab's growth ETF. So it tends to outperform the S&P 500 in the long run. It's made up of a little riskier tech stocks and information technology, things like that. And then lastly, my last thing I hold in my Roth IRA is QQQM. There's a slight difference between this and QQQ. One of them is, I believe they hold a little bit different. They have different holdings a little bit, I believe, but I could be wrong on that. But QQQM has a lower expense ratio, so I hold that. So overall, 50% of my money in there is pretty safe, and the other 50% is pretty volatile. So my Roth IRA tends to go up and down a decent bit, and I'm fine with that now because I'm young, and I'm betting that the riskier stuff will pay off 40 years from now, which, according to history, it probably will, but we'll see. Moving on to my 401k, I kind of mirror this as well for my Roth IRA. So 50% goes into their S&P 500 ETF or index fund, basically. And then 30% goes to a tech fund. It's basically like QQQM. It's information technology. I think the return yearly on this is like 17 or 18%. It's a lot. But the market's been doing really good in the last 5 years. So I'm not sure how it's going to do in the long run, but we'll see. And the last thing I hold is 20% in their growth fund. It's basically the same thing as SCHG. And then I mentioned my traditional account, traditional brokerage account. This is what I use to put money into stocks that I think are going to go up. I don't recommend doing this. If I were you, I would not. This is like my fun money. It's like me and my buddies talk about it and what we're going to do with it, and then I'll use that money in there. But you got to pay taxes on all that. So that's the least amount of money is in that one. And then I have a high yield savings account. This is where any overflow of money goes that I want to save and maybe invest for next year. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I put my whole $7,500 into my Roth IRA, and then I'll accumulate another $7,500 over the year for next year. So doing investing in lump sum is actually better, just a little bit better than investing monthly. But I just like to do it. It's kind of just invest it, and then I don't even think about it the whole year until the next year rolls around, and I'm excited to empty my savings account. But yeah, I highly recommend doing the lump sum investing one time a year. You get actually long term, you get better returns because your money's in the market for longer. Where if you were to allocate, $600 some monthly to get to that $7,500, it actually doesn't perform as well. You miss out on a little bit of the return throughout the year. I do invest monthly or bi-monthly into my Roth 401k, and both of those are tax free. So anything I make in there, I will not be taxed, which is pretty nice. This is not what everyone should be doing. I have a lot of risk in my portfolio. Some might say too much. I mean, maybe a little too much. I think I'm going to do this for maybe 2 years and then go like 70% to the S&P 500. I just want to get a good base while I'm really young, because I'm only 22. I might do it till maybe I'm like 25. But the important thing is that you start investing early. I know I live in my parents' basement. I'm just kind of like a bum now. Just trying to save money while I'm young, but I know everyone doesn't have the money to max a retirement account at 22. But this video is for your 20s, man. If you're 27, you should be able to be putting some money away. I truly believe that you have to, especially nowadays. Like the lower, lower middle class is just getting crushed, and the only way to get ahead, I think, is by investing. And they're just printing money out these days too, and having your money sitting in cash or just spending it all is making you less money. So it's one way to take advantage of the stupid decisions that other people are making that you can't control, inflation and things like that. So yeah, it's just important to get in the stock market as early as you can. And yeah, thank you for listening. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.